The year is 1939. This guy over in Germany is like, Die Deutschen werden euch alle verbrennen und brechen. The year is 1945. At this time, Europe has burnt to the ground, China has gone back to punching itself in the face, Japan has 2 cities that have been unexisted, and Africa got the idea of, what if no Europeans here? So what do you do if you're the leader of a giant world power? Well, that was the issue a one Harry S. Truman was facing. Truman was born in 1884 in a small town in Missouri. He spent his younger days doing this in France, then went home to do this in Missouri.
Sir, please don't throw hot dogs at me. I got my bachelor's for this.
After serving in some small mayor-type political positions in his county, he moved on to become a senator from Missouri. Then he became the vice president of the man, the myth, the legend, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Armed with his trusty wheelchair and big brain, FDR led America to the end of World War II. And now he's just been re-elected for a 4th term, and is ready to kick some proper ass. Oops, he's dead. Now Truman is the president. Huzzah! Now he's on the global stage. How is that global stage? Oh boy. Truman decided to help them. So he and the other allies went to Europe and restored several Nazi-occupied countries to their self-rule. Oh hey Stalin, you're here to help rearrange the political structure of Europe to a healthy and equal series of status quo states, right? Right?
Thank you. Thank you. Titan has freed us.
Oh, I wouldn't say free. More like under new management.
Oh, that's not good. See, Stalin created a league of puppet states in the territories that the Soviet Union took from the Nazis that effectively swore loyalty to the Soviet Union and could be exploited by them if they decided to stop being communist. So Truman's first 3 major pickles was to re-establish strong diplomatic ties to European countries to help ensure that they won't become USSR puppets, help rebuild Europe after it had been exploded, and embarrass the USSR by making capitalism appear to be significantly more competent than communism. Luckily, the answer to all of these problems is to become Oprah, i.e. the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan gave several $1 billion to Western Europe to help jumpstart their economies and fix the stuff that's been burnt down, and it worked like a charm. So by the 50s, West Germany looked like this, while East Germany looked like this. Wait, West and East? Oh yeah, about that. The Allies established a new German country in the West that was capitalist, and the Soviets established one in the East that was communist. They also split the city of Berlin accordingly. Man, look at this beautiful red map. Ugh, that one blue speck is really getting on my nerves. You mean West Berlin? Yeah, that. I just can't invade it because that'll be a act of aggression. Actually, that'd just be an act of war. Whatever. There's gotta be a way to make that blue dot red. I got it. You know how during war people will blow up roads and stop travel and stuff so that the city can starve and surrender? Well, I'm gonna do that to West Berlin. You're gonna starve them to death? You have a problem with that, Vlad? No, not a problem. So now Truman had to deal with that, but luckily he came up with a glorious and revolutionary idea. Yeah, we're just gonna drop the food in via parachute. And it worked. So now that Europe's been dealt with, Truman decided to look over at Asia to see how they were doing. Good grief. China has finished punching itself in the face and is now communist. Korea hasn't decided about whether it's communist or capitalist. Japan is doing okay, I think. Oh, and the Soviets, who are also in Asia, have just made nukes. Now 2 countries in the world have nukes. Huh. Well, as long as no major conflicts break out, I'm sure everything will be okay. Oh, come on! So the communist part of Korea began to beat the crap out of the capitalist part of Korea. Kim Il-sung was backed by Mao and Stalin, and the UN kind of panicked and formed an emergency coalition made up of 16 countries to help the South. Everything was going good until Mao decided to send reinforcements. Luckily, the top general of the Pacific Theater of World War II, Douglas MacArthur, had a genius plan.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Whoa. No, we can't nuke them. Why not? The Soviets have nukes now. So if we launch nukes, they'll nuke us, and we'll all die.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Okay, that's it. You're fired. The Korean War was the first time the world realized a terrifying principle. If a 3rd World War was to break out, everyone would have and use these nukes, and the world would end. It's hard for those who were born in the 21st century to imagine the terror felt during this time, but I'll ask if you could try. Everyone saw the devastation at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We knew what happened when a nuclear bomb was dropped, and there is no possible way to escape when it falls. Bunkers can only do so much, and even if you somehow survive the scorching waves of heat and explosions razing your city, the radiation from the bomb will scar the entire area for centuries, which will kill anyone who sets foot in the region. This was the truth Truman and millions of others all over the world realized, but Truman faced a related conundrum. He couldn't invade the Soviet Union because that would cause the literal apocalypse, but he also couldn't just let the Soviet Union spread its influence to other countries, so Truman needed a way to look strong but not aggressive. So around this time he delivered the Truman Doctrine, foreign policy implemented mainly to deal with communists in Greece and Turkey, but it acted as a foundation for how America would intervene in these uprisings, whether they were funded by the Soviets or not, for years to come, which was subtly. And not so subtly, Truman helped organize NATO, as a response to Stalin's Eastern Bloc and Warsaw Pact. It got a bit awkward when the Soviets asked to join NATO in 1954, but they were turned down. And that's about it. The most important things Truman did. He was a popular enough figure from both Congress and the general American public's point of view, but he's kind of been buried by other Cold War era presidents in recent years. So is Truman really the second coming of Christ? He clearly got a lot done in his 8 years as president, but does that make him a god? Yes, the end.